one.
So first of all, hi everybody. I'm Joe Grobe. I'm going to be your guide for the moment. And we're here today, and we're talking about the 19th and early 20th century growth of Jerusalem. And as we walk down this street, we see how the city grew this way. And as the city grew this way, we know that more and more people started moving into the neighborhood. So in around 1892, a man by the name of Samuel Levy, who was living in America, away from his wife, who was living in Belarus, comes to Israel to meet up with his wife and children. He was able to, they were able to come from Belarus to Israel because he was able to get some forged documents in the United States that said that they were United States citizens, and therefore the Turks were willing to let them in. He comes here and he starts living, I think in Mea Shearim originally in the old city, then Mea Shearim, and he looks around and he says, you know, the people who come here really, when they get here, they have no place to go. They have no place to stay. What can I do about that? He had learned how to be a tailor in the United States. He had a little bit of money. So in 1906, he comes here and he buys this building, which at the time was a one-story building, just the bottom level. And he says, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to build a few things. Number one, I want to have a synagogue where the devout people who get up at the crack of dawn can come and daven. Those are called vatikim. In Hebrew, they are the early risers. They come and they want to pray when the sun first goes up. And he says, what else do I want to do here? How are people, when they come here, if they don't have any relatives, where are they going to eat? Where are they going to stay? So you know what? Maybe I can make this like a hospice center where people can come, like a khan, for example, where people can come, and it became a hostel. So that's what he did. And from 1906 to around 1917, when the building was complete, he had the bottom floor. There were two more stone floors on top, and the fourth floor was a wooden structure. And on top of the fourth floor, there was a tower. Okay, there was a tower, and on the top of the tower, it says Ben Porat Yosef, which is something, again, from the blessing that Yaakov gives, that Jacob gives to his son Joseph, that Joseph should be fruitful. In 1927, there's an earthquake, and the top floor collapses. But before the earthquake, one of the unique things that they did on the top of the building is they put up a pole with a copper bottom, and the idea was when the sun rose and hit that pole, it would illuminate so that people would know that that was the time that they should start praying this prayer at the very beginning of the day, this Vatikin prayer. He didn't really like that because it wasn't really a great system. So in 1908, he meets a man named Moshe Shapiro. Moshe Shapiro is a clockmaker. He is a devout Jew, and he's also a little bit of an astronomer. And Moshe Shapiro knows how to make clocks and sundials. So he engages him, and after the building, I think, is complete, somewhere between 1908 and 1917, they put up a sundial. And you see next to the sundial, on top, there are two regular clocks. At the beginning, it was probably just to cover the gear. But what he decided was, what if it's a rainy day when the sundial when the sundial doesn't tell you what time it is, because if there's shade and it's rain, you're not going to know what time it is. So Moshe Shapiro also installed two clocks, one on each side, so that you would also know the exact times. When you look at the sundial, you can see that it's not divided like a normal clock. What he did is, in Jewish law, and I think also in Islam law, you divide the full day into 24 distinct time periods, what they call in Jewish law, sha'ot zmaniyot. So the sundial was tracked to those Jewish times. In 1927, the top floor comes down. In 1940, there's a fire, and the building again takes a lot of damage. In 1980, the municipality decides to lend its support and to redo it, and the entire thing was refaced. It's obviously a long time later, and it's getting more decrepit, and the family of Shmuel Levy actually takes care of this place, Shmuel Levy being the man who was the founder. Now, why am I guiding here today? So let me tell you a little bit about me. My grandmother was Shmuel Levy's granddaughter. So in other words, my great-great-grandfather was Shmuel Levy, who founded this building and opened it up to help the people of Jerusalem.
Excellent.
One more thing. In 2014, the state of Israel decides that this is really a place that deserves recognition, and a commemorative stamp is issued with the sundial. And that concludes our presentation.
You must be proud of this.